Hi everyone, I hope you're still with me so far from all that alternate picking. Now here is another rock technique which is very popular. This is my favourite technique. This is something that I heard on a record when I was learning, and I really wanted to do this. I thought it was a terrific technique. Legato. Now legato really is hammer-ons and pull-offs, and this technique is very different than alternate picking because it's a very smooth style. I'm going to play you something in just a sec so you can hear what happens, but make sure you follow the fingering I'm using in this too, because it's very important. We're going to be using a lot of our little finger here, and I know that's horrible because our little fingers at first, you know, it feels so weak, doesn't it? But the more you practice with it, the better. So let's have a look at this little legato exercise. All right, so here we go. I'm going to play this legato thing for you. This is a little exercise, but you could put it in a song, I guess. Joe Satriani uses this kind of thing a lot, so it goes like this. All right, so what's going on here? Well, this is, I kind of call this circular legato, and it's quite a nice one because it moves back and forth and goes round in the circles. And a circular legato, there you go. So I'm doing this. That's the first bit, all right? So I'm hammering on the high E string, 8 up to 10 up to 12. But actually I'm pulling that off, I'm sorry. First, all right? So 12 off to 10 off to 8. And when you move back 1 fret, all right, to 7 on the high E, and then up to 8, up to 10 on the high E, and then pull 10 off to 8, all right, and then 8 off to 7. That's a lot of numbers. No, it's really not that hard. Let me show you. Okay, let me do that again. So 10 off to 12 off to 10, 10 off to 8, slide back to 7, 7 up to 8, hammer on, up to 10 on the high E, pull 10 off to 8, off to 7. So I'll do that a couple of times slow so you can see. And you can slide back, you see, to that note, and then hammer on 10 to 12, and you can go in a circle with that. Now I'm only picking the first note, by the way. And then I'm not using my right hand at all. The only thing I'm using my right hand for, and this is very important, is to keep the strings quiet, because you don't want that. Can you hear all that string noise? You don't want that. So. All right, so. Now when you get to that point, you're going to go to the B string now, and you're going to use your little finger. Now your little finger is going to feel very weak at first, but that's all right. Get used to using it because you'll need it for this technique. And then you go to 10, all right, on the B, pull off to 8 on the B, to 7. So we've got, okay. Now, when you get to 7, you're going to go up again, so 7 up to 8, up to 10 on the B. And then we're going to do the same shape on the high E, so 7, 8, 10. So we've got this. Now, when you go up to 10, then you're going to pull off again, 10 off to 8, off to 7, and then slide back. So you end up with this whole movement. And that's a little lick there. So it's quite a good one. Now you're going to find that when you go descend the strings, when you do that, it's really difficult to keep that quiet as you go down. What I do is I use my little finger here And as I go down a scale, don't know if you can see this here, I'm moving that up, so I'm quietening all the strings beneath it. And that's really, really important, because when you're playing legato, you don't want any string noise. So try and keep it as quiet as best you can. So this is a cool little technique, this, even if you just do the first one. It sounds very smooth. You can't really get that with picking. I know we looked at alternate picking in the last video, but if I play, let me play you the difference. Here's legato. All right, and here's the same thing picked. So there's a difference, isn't there? So it's up to you what you want to use. I kind of like legato. But I have a lot of problem with alternate picking. So that's why I don't use it. That wasn't so bad. Maybe I'm having a good day, I don't know. Anyway, so there's a little exercise for you. Work on this, because your little finger will feel very weak. If you find that tricky, then do a smaller shape, maybe 7 up to 9 up to 10, and then pull up. See if you can get that. But first you're gonna start like that. So there we go. If you like legato, there's a couple of people you should really check out. The main one for me that I like is Joe Satriani. You can pretty much listen to anything Joe Satriani does, and his legato is fantastic. There's a particular track which is, he does some very impressive stuff. As I say, anything really from Joe Satriani, but he's got an album called The Extremist, and there's a track on that called War, and he does some beautiful stuff on there. Always With Me, Always With You is another one of his tracks where he does some great legato. But basically anything from Joe Satriani, and you'll hear this very fluid style. So I hope you have some fun with that at legato. Remember, these techniques, as I said on the first video, they're not things that you're going to get in a week, unfortunately. I know you want to go out there and play it straight away, but unfortunately it's going to take a while to get this technique. It took me, I won't put you off, but it took me a while to get these things. But the harder you practice, the quicker you'll be able to do it. And the tips for legato are, remember to keep it clean. You don't want, you know, any of this business. None of that, no string noise. You want to keep it quiet. So you should only be able to hear just the strings you're playing. So have some fun with that. Send me an email if you've got any questions about that technique.